Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. My name is Sergeant Derek Gaspard. I'm with the Galveston Police Department. Today's a great day for the Galveston Police Department. We're pleased to announce that an arrest has been made in a cold case murder from 2019. On March 30th, 2019, at approximately 7 a.m., officers with the Galveston Police Department were dispatched to the 3800 block of Avenue P and a half in reference to a deceased person. Officers and investigators quickly realized that this was in fact a homicide investigation. Officers and investigators quickly realized that the deceased was found on the sidewalk, bound and covered with a blanket. An extensive investigation began, and early on in the investigation, Ernest Pierre was identified as a suspect in this case. The victim was identified as Melvin Walker. The case went cold for several years, and a thorough review began earlier this year, and investigators were able to revisit the case and determine the appropriate course of action. Thanks to advances in technology, forensic discoveries, and ever-evolving DNA methods, Ernest Pierre was solidified as the primary suspect in this horrendous murder, and formal charges were approved late last week for Pierre. Pierre was transported from the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, where he is currently serving 15 years for armed robbery, for robbery and obstruction retaliation, and has been remanded to the Galveston County Jail for the offense of murder in relation to this case. This is a huge step for justice in this case and for the Galveston Police Department. I'm very proud of our team and all the hard work they put in to bring this case one more step closer to justice. I'm going to introduce Chief Bally real quick, and at the end of this press conference, I'll provide photographs of
to justice. This case may have remained cold for much, much longer.
It's my privilege and an honor to work on behalf of Melvin Walker's family in bringing justice to him and hopefully bringing some peace to his family, especially this time of year right before the holidays. Be happy to take any questions.
Mr. Pierre is currently serving time for an unrelated robbery, is it?
Yes, that's correct.
Where did it take place? Do you know?
Here in Galveston.
On the technology, the chief mentioned DNA. Can you touch on some of what was used and how it helped in this case?
So 4 years is a really long time in the scientific community. So there's been some advances in technology that have allowed for more specific or sensitive DNA testing to be done. And so back in November of this year, we got the results of that new testing and technology.
And that was the lead to the suspect. Obviously, you knew who the victim was.
We knew who the suspect was, and we had Mr. Pierre identified as a person of interest, but we needed physical evidence.
And that evidence came from where? On the scene where the body was found, or?
A secondary location.
And at the time, y'all had indicated that it looked like that his body was dumped on that sidewalk, but the homicide took place somewhere else. Can you go into some of that? Was it here on the island? Was it somewhere out of the area?
I can't get real specific, but I can tell you that it was here on the island. We did identify the homicide, or hurt. But the fact is that we never do. Those samples are always at the lab being tested. Those suspects are always being watched. Those witnesses are always being spoken to. So it's really easy to fall into that belief that these cold cases just lay dormant forever, but we're always looking for ways to make a difference in the case.
And in fact, Detective, you came in on this several months ago and started taking a new look at it.
That's correct, about 8 months ago.
You mentioned that he was a person of interest in this case. Do you also believe that he's a person of interest in the case of Donna Brown, who was also believed to be killed as well?
He is a person of interest in an unrelated ongoing investigation.
In the death of Donna Brown?
Yes.
Do you know if he is also the person that's on that surveillance video that you all have working that case?
We're not going to release any information in reference to the Donna Brown case today, primarily because we're taking a harder look at that as well.
How were you able to make the connection that he is also a person of interest in that case?
In the Donna Brown case? Again, I can't really get into the specifics without divulging too much information about that case. And at this point, we don't want to do that because we don't want to tip our hand. I mean, we really want to bring justice to the family of Donna Brown as well. So if we can do that, we're going to keep the integrity of the case.
At the time that this murder had taken place, and your suspect before obviously was a person of interest, and then since then has gone to prison. Was he out on bail at the time? Can you kind of explain?
At the time of
when the murder actually happened?
he was just in the free world.
All right, so he wasn't
He
out
wasn't out
on
on
bail
bail
at the
or
time,
anything like that. Yep.
Can you talk about the relationship between the suspect and the victim in this, not the Brown case, but in this case? You mentioned that it wasn't a family relationship. Were they business partners? Were they friends?
From what we know, they were just acquaintances. Yeah.
How was Melvin killed?
Blunt force trauma?
And he was found with, is there a sack over his head or something?
Yes.
And what message do you have to the family now, Mr. Walker?
For Mr. Walker, Merry Christmas. That's, you know, I can't think of anything, any gift that I could buy anybody that would amount to this.